Welcome to ASAP Conversations. Today we have another episode in the series, and as you all may have seen, or for those who don't know, ASAP Conversations is bringing different partners, activists, people who are leading or part of movements, and people who are representing different communities or working for the rights of different communities, marginalized communities, are invited as guests in the series, and we ask them different questions. We basically want to know from them how the current situation due to the pandemic has affected communities, especially their access to SRHR and abortion rights. And today we are very lucky to have with us Kausalya. She has joined us all the way from Tamil Nadu. So we are very honored, Kausalya, that you could find the time from, I'm sure, so much that is going on, and join us for the interview. And I'll just ask you to introduce yourself a bit and your work.
I am actually from Positive Women Network. Positive Women Network is actually women living with HIV group. It's actually functioning in 1998. We are actually a group of women living with HIV. We formed in this network, and we have in the different states we have a group of people.
You can tell us a little bit more in detail. What was the situation of the positive people in India? What were the issues they were facing? Was there a role that the government was playing? What was the role of the government? What was the role of other civil society organizations or movements? So, and where were you standing even before the pandemic hit? So if you can take us a little bit more deeper into that.
Before COVID, we are in the HIV program. I already told it's only for two ways of looking at women, and one is for if the women are sex worker, so they will be getting HIV testing, and women are in the pregnancy, they will be getting for HIV testing. And otherwise, the women are actually not coming forward themselves for HIV testing. So this is actually situations of before COVID, and after the people, various people surrounding in the HIV circle, they will look at in the even after infections, they will look at only for people living with HIV rather than the women and the women health and SRH services for women living with HIV. So this is not like, still it is a question mark for us because various reason. For example, if in case we have any infections early, we have to remove our uterus, means we cannot able to remove because age is matter for removing our uterus. So those kind of thing is affecting for our life. For reproductive health issues, and also the abortion services, access to abortion services, and the ages are matter. And another thing is like for HIV, there is lot of denial and discrimination is still there. Still we are facing it. That is actually for since the HIV was started in India 86, till now we are facing for discriminations. Whatever the COVID people are facing the discrimination, we are actually faced in those days lot of discrimination, and the people are actually thrown out of the house. They are actually not get the treatment in the hospital. Delivery is not happen. Abortion is services are denied for positive women an earlier time, and even dead body was actually for burying dead body is big question mark for HIV positive people. This is an all we faced in the almost till now also somewhere it is happening. Okay, not everything is okay for still now. Somewhere still happening for denying of dead body, burialing, and denying for women accessing for reproductive health services. It's not like a pregnancy and accessing reproductive health. There is a different for pregnancy and accessing for other SRH services. Like for example, there is any uterus infection, there is anything happen in the women in uterus, accessing services is very difficult. Cancer to anything else, accessing services is not that easy. We are still using influence to get done for our life. This is way it is going. In that situations now, COVID is playing our life very badly, because they everywhere this one disease they are looking at. All other services are stopped now,
So
denied now.
just to then and sort of for the sorry to again cut you, but I'll just jump in so that for our audiences, what Kausalya is saying is that and which is something that a lot of activists and people who are part of these movements and communities have already been saying as well, that the COVID pandemic is almost a parallel to what happened decades before, when the HIV was first detected globally and in India. There was a lot of stigma, a lot of discrimination. So just recently in Chennai, a doctor who I think passed away from COVID, he was denied burial. HIV, people living with HIV and people who had passed away had already faced that. So what Kausalya is saying is the parallel of discrimination with diseases is not a new phenomena. It has happened in the past, it's happening again. So thank you so much, Kausalya, for bringing that point out, because I think stigma and discrimination is a reality we live in. Only the name of the disease changes. Earlier it was HIV, today it's the COVID-19. So it is a very interesting thing to keep in mind, that we were always discriminating as a society, and we just find another, every few decades we find a new excuse. What my next question is, that like we know that already there was a lot of difficulty in terms of accessing services even before the pandemic hit, because the AIDS control, there is a national AIDS control program. If you can say a little bit about that, and the world and all the global work, I mean the work that they have been doing in the country. But we know from time to time there are shortages in ART drugs, in testing. Those issues have already been there. Do you think in your mind, like, and the fact that women and girls living with HIV do not get full access to sexual and reproductive health services? The whole PPTCT program is focused only on the reproductive health and delivery. So just want to know from you, and also what is the role of NACO, the National AIDS Control Society? Is there a government plan to sort of make sure that, because HIV is very, very essential program, so that it does not get left out? And is it a part of the essential health services, or what is happening there? If you can just tell us a bit.
Actually, for the first lockdown period, after that, there is NACO. NACO was actually released the document for how the COVID and HIV they are seeing it, how they preparing the HIV positive people for COVID. So that document was actually released, and according to that, every state was actually developed their own document. So that document is available in the states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and then Andhra Pradesh also they developed, and even Maharashtra they developed, and then for Delhi they developed, and then for Assam, Manipur, Nagaland, everywhere, all over states, they are actually developed in this kind of document. How the people can able to access HIV medicines. But other illnesses, how they can access, there is no clearly they don't have anything. Okay, for emergency services, how it will be take place. So we pushed in the states where I am living. So they have a one number. So they can actually call up to that number. It is also televisions, and they given a interview for PD Kansas, and also the minister. If there is anybody in a HIV positive people to access medicine, any other services and counseling, you can call up this number. They will help you out. So like that, they said, and it was come up one day full news channel for that number. And after that, nothing. But we are sending a message to WhatsApp, another way of reaching to the people, and talking to where we have a number that then the people are talking to them. And similarly for all the networks, they are also where they have a contact number, so they are actually reaching them. Some of the people actually they are delivering the medicines to the nearest houses, nearest hospitals, like that they are doing it. So people, if they are actually facing like for example, one of the women, she said she is a positive, but the man is negative. And the man doesn't know, husband doesn't know the informations. So husband has a vehicle, but I cannot ask him and come with me and collecting my medication, because he doesn't know the HIV infection is there for that particular woman. So she hided the status to the women, man, because the discrimination or denial will happen. That's why she is afraid about it. She is practicing safe sex and everything, but she is actually denied with the not revealed her status to the husband. So she is asking help, how I can actually get the medicine. So we actually said, in nearby places we will give you medicines, you can come and collect the medicines. Like that kind of thing is going on. Some counselor is delivering, or peer educator is delivering to their nearest places, nearest home. If there is a people are not able to access it, the people are not aware of it. Some way they are seeing it TV, or some way they are actually seeing news and they are calling us. Otherwise they are actually calling to their counselors and getting in the information, or any other people are actually they are actually saying that you can contact this person, they will help you. Like that, even the people are calling me and asking that I am in that district, can you please help me for my third line drugs. Third line drugs is only for regional level center is providing. That means Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and then Telangana, Pondicherry is actually serving in the Tambaram ART center. Means in Chennai, there is a tuberculosis center is there. So that center is providing for these places for ART for third line drugs. So these thing, and lockdown is happened for all over states. The states also there is restrictions. So we made it a point. First close down itself. Kerala is very brave. They are took the medicines in earlier time to the Tamil Nadu government, and the medicine was reached to them. And Andhra Pradesh, they are sending monthly ones, because stock out problem was there for third line drugs. Some reason not produced in the company. That's might be one reason. We don't know what is actually for company has a playing games, and we doesn't know about it, but some way we know it, and the company is playing lot of games. They are not producing medicines, that's why it's stocking out is happening for that particular medication. So they are giving 1 month once. Before COVID, actually 15 days once. Now it is actually for 1 month medicine they are getting it. So our people are delivering those medicines. Now actually community spread was happened, so that the third line drugs is still we are having in the question mark. And also the pregnancy and delivery. So I was sent in just now only to the project director saying that wherever there is actually Madurai in Tamil Nadu, there is 4 districts are actually the infection is high. So these 4 districts, how they will actually plan for pregnant women. In other districts also, how they will plan for delivering in the child. So that is a big challenge for us, because everything is district headquarters hospital. The delivery is happening in the district headquarters hospital. It's nationally, this is a way of actually the HIV program is functioning. There is no taluk level hospital. The delivery is not take place because the service is only available the district headquarters. So the people should come for Chennai. We have a 4 hospital is there for women to deliver the child in HIV means. So now 3 hospital, no, all the 4 hospital are, one is actually for COVID severe COVID cases were admitted. Other people are not admitted. Okay, they are going to actually take to hospital, to Dynamic Center for COVID infections. They are going to treat them. So I don't know what is protocol for the women in normal women can able to deliver the baby in that particular hospital. What is the plan? That we are actually not very clearly there. And today was announcement in ICMR. All the pregnant women means actually for the where is the lockdown is happening for the zone wise, means like there is actually for 10 kilometer some surrounding area of COVID patient was identified. So those people will be undergo for the COVID testing, even if there is a pregnant women are there means. Okay, so that means what is actually for the normal pregnant women will deliver the child. That itself still question mark. And the women in HIV, still it is question mark how the delivery will be take place.
That a lot of the programs are anyway limited to pregnancy and safe deliveries of positive women. Even that today the focus of the Indian medical, I think the sector is to make sure that the COVID-19 patients get the precedence, get the importance over all other people. So even in pregnant women, there is probably now a hierarchy who gets a more a preference. So COVID-19, woman with COVID-19 or with symptoms of COVID-19 will get preference in those hospitals which are being cleared up. But what happens to other women? What happens to other people who also need similar services? There is no clear answers for that. And what Kausalya you said is very correct, that for HIV positive women, anyway, there was no other SRHR services that were being offered to them. And the situation of Tamil Nadu, if I'm not wrong, is even more critical, because from what I hear, emergency pills are not available. Even before, there was a informal ban, apparently. So if you can tell us a little bit more about also contraception, emergency pills, and also like abortion, in the sense that if a woman then has to have, does go through a unwanted pregnancy, what was the course of action for her, and what will someone like that do now?
The simple procedure of operations are banned. Okay. For this was actually for when there is infection increases itself everywhere, all over India. It is banned for all over wherever the COVID problem was there. Those states it is banned. So there is no operation procedure. There is any emergency, severe emergency means they will be open surgery will take place. So thank God in the Tamil Nadu government, recently we are actually before COVID, we demanded for our CM HIV positive people should avail for insurance, the CM insurance scheme. So and also PM insurance scheme of our state. Some private hospital is now actually opened up for the emergency services. So the people, they don't have a money, they can use this card right now for HIV positive people. So this we made it a point fully free. So because they cannot able to take a money from out of pocket expenditures. So that's why the woman was actually from Perambalur and she can avail the services in that particular district itself.
Thank you, Kausalya, for bringing that. And I think your cases are very important to know, because this is how a huge chunk of our population lives. But obviously, the mainstream media and everyone else, we don't talk about them often. We forget them very often. And what it brings to me is another part of the same question. You already mentioned that, like in one case where the woman did not tell her husband about her status, and it is completely ethical. Like it is up to the person whether they want to reveal their status and to whom they reveal their status. So obviously that is completely ethical thing. But what I want to know is, in the current situation where this entire country is in lockdown, whether or not you have the ability, a safe environment, a safe family, a safe home, whether or not your identity is revealed or not revealed, you have acceptance or you don't have acceptance. Do you have any insight on that, that how are women and girls especially dealing with issues of being locked up in families, not having privacy maybe, or privacy being under some risk, because you're not able to, obviously, even if you face issues, say you have an unwanted pregnancy, you want to go visit a gynecologist, you can't. So do you see such things happening also, and what is the situation on that?
Yes, of course, because recently for the before lockdown, there is one woman was admitted in the hospital for delivery. Okay, she's a widow.
Hmm.
Okay, and that woman don't wanted the child to be carried
Hmm.
because the family is not accepting. That's why she don't want to carry the child.
Hmm.
Okay, even though she is interested, but the family is not accepting.
Hmm.
Okay, so she want to give it to that child to the any of the people. So now actually they given to one of the care home. That particular woman also staying in the care home because there is some problem was came up with her. So the Sunday the lockdown was there. No, the before a day she was admitted in the hospital. So now the child is actually in the one care home. The women is one care home.
And I think the lesson to learn from the HIV epidemic and now from COVID-18 pandemic is, do not stigmatize. If you want people to come out in the open, you have to stop stigmatizing diseases. After coronavirus ends, hopefully, what kind of systems should we build? What kind of, like, what is the world that we should move towards? Because
Any diseases comes. So how to actually handle those that diseases important. Similarly, for the larger population, the death is happening. For any other diseases, any other things, every day death is happening. So how they can also stop those deaths rather than increasing the death to the newer diseases and also for other diseases. So how they can actually stop that death. So that is very important. And whatever the emergency services should go. Okay, they cannot actually put in everything to the one diseases. So make the some hospital dedicate to that and dedicate to the health workers for that particular thing. and then backup is needed for some doctors. We have to learn from the Kerala what they are actually done for it, because their infection is reducing it every day. They are keeping it that level itself. So within our country there is a lot of lessons to learn, rather than going and checking with China and other places. We should learn from our country what is there, what is actually what is the lessons learned, how we can implement those lessons. Our Prime Minister should look at that rather than outside the places.
Health is a universal right, and public health is non-negotiable. We all of us as taxpayers, I think this is the least we can sort of demand, that there should be universal healthcare for all of us, irrespective of who is on which socio-economic status, what is the caste, what is the class, what is the gender, sexual identity. Everybody has a right to universal healthcare.